Good evening, soldiers and citizens. Today is going to be a very special video, and it's going to be unlike any video you've ever seen before. So, this is to celebrate 3,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, so thank you all very much for the support. I appreciate it very much. So, for this video, I'm going to do something that you have not seen on my channel before, and that is a tutorial on replacing parts of a video game. So, the game I have right here is an authentic Pokemon Blue. So if you can see, it might be too bright, but once I show you the repair process, it'll probably be much clearer. But if it's not authentic, please let me know in the comments below. But I recently got interested in repairing old video games recently, I think about a couple of weeks ago. It was when I came across this unique item called a GB operator by Epilogue. Not sponsored by them, but I think that is a very useful tool if you want to play Game Boy games, Game Boy Color, or Game Boy Advanced on your PC. So I wanted to share with y'all just how to repair a game so you can play on your PC on the go, basically, kind of like the Switch, but for PC. So it's seriously a great opportunity to be able to repair games these days. And I think it's a lot of fun personally. I fixed about 10 games, although they were mostly just repairing the copper chips for when you insert the game and it has to read these sort of, I guess, entry chips. I don't know the terminology for the motherboards on those things. So if you can just tell me in the comments what those are, let me know. But I have replaced 2 batteries, one from my Pokemon Ruby for the Game Boy Advance, and another from my good friend Sultan. I think he changed his name to Sultan Harden instead of Sultan Samurott, but I'll put the link to his YouTube channel below, and it was honestly an honor to be able to fix someone else's game. First time also, and I'm glad that it was successful too. So I want to make sure that for a game like this, it will be just as successful, if not better. Although for this case, you can't really get any more than 100% complete, so we'll just leave it at that. But without further ado, let's actually get into things and fix this game and make it work again, and I'll tell you everything about it along the way. So that seems like the game. No, let's try again. So before we get into repairing the game, let's double check and see what it'll look like if we actually try inserting the game into GB operator. Doesn't look like it's doing anything. Let me try one more time. Okay. It's actually red, so let's just take a look at what it looks like. Okay, it's loading the game. Huh. I did not see this before. Oh, it might be a little loud. Let me just... There you go. So, the game runs, but I tried recording this before and it did not start, and now it seems to want to. Let's kind of see what happens if we do save, though. Might need to skip, though. Okay. Let me just put in a random name. Actually... Let's slow that down a bit. Alright, now let's save and see what happens. Would you like to save the game? Yes. Now saving. Okay, it's saved. Let's see if we can actually save it into the cart and launch it again. Let's skip a few parts. And let's see what happens. Continue. Okay, I guess it I guess it does, but I mean, the battery still might not work, so we're still going to replace the battery, and I want to show you the process about it. So let's get into it. Okay, so we are finally going to repair this game, replace the battery, that is. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it when I tested it in GB Operator, but we're still going to replace it nevertheless, just in case something does happen. So I'll give you the tools you might need to replace this if you haven't seen it already, but there are other tutorials out there. But I just wanted to show you that I have some experience in replacing some parts or cleaning the games in general. So the first main tool is obviously to open this game. So you need some heads to open up the game. Specifically, it's a G3 screw head. Yeah, it fits. So you need a G3 one. You need possibly some cotton swabs because you're going to be cleaning some parts if you want to get this game all fresh and new. Some 91% rubbing alcohol, isopropyl, I think it is. 99% is always better, but 91% seems fine with me. And something to kind of hold the battery up, like some tweezers, some working tweezers. Any tweezer should work, but I use this one. And you need some batteries, some CR, I think it's CR 2025. Yeah, you could use these. These are CR 1616, but I've been told that they will drain faster because you can tell that this one is smaller compared to this one. So you need CR 2025. Let me actually get one out. And they're very small. Hang on a minute. There you go. They kind of look like this. I don't know if the camera will be focused, but I'll give you a link of where these are, and you can try it out yourself if you want to. Let me move some things out of the way so we have room. You also need some soldering wick. These are braids because you're going to absorb the solder out of the some parts that I'll show you. You also need some flux in order to actually be able to do that. And what else? Oh yeah, obviously some soldering kit, like an actual soldering iron and some solder to go with it. I think this one is 60/40. I'll put everything in the description. I'm sort of new to actually showing off this to everybody, so kind of bear with me on this. But yeah. Oh, you might also need something to put all the leftover Q-tips on when you're done with when you're done with some of them. But yeah, without further ado, let's actually fix this thing. Let's actually see what it looks like. I mean, I've seen it already, but I have fixed at least 10 games, but it was mostly with a metal wire and some alcohol, just cleaning it all and trying to get the games to be read. So yeah, I cleaned some of this already. I was originally going to fix this some days ago, but I had the wrong batteries at the time. So yeah, this is what it looks like underneath. Hopefully y'all can see that. And if you can't tell, this battery right here is very flimsy and it easily came off. So we can't use this. I mean, we could. It did save, but I'm not going to take any chances. We're going to replace this battery. Okay, so I thought I recorded this, but it turns out that I didn't show, or I did show, but it didn't record the process of me removing the battery. So I'm gonna try to retrace my steps and show you like way to go about it. So let me just kind of put the battery where it was before. So this is what it looked like before. So yeah, battery placed here, and there was this part that was on the battery. It was underneath here. This is the minus position, I think. But the way you would go about it is you would take your isopropyl alcohol and you just rub it around, you know, here, any places that might be messy. Actually, just clean up all around it just in case. Oh, slipped. And then after you clean it with the alcohol, there, you get your swab again, or your another one if you have one, and then you get some of the flux and you place it around these solder points, and then you take your pair of tweezers, kind of put it underneath the battery, and then you take your soldering iron and then you press on the solder points, and as you're doing that, gently lift up the battery. I mean, it's a lot easier now that it's off, but you basically do that. There are other tutorials on replacing batteries. If you want to have more in-depth reviews on those, they're definitely an option. I'm just showing you my experience of showing off replacing batteries on video. But yeah, let's actually get into fixing this and getting it working again. What's the next step? Oh yeah, make sure you clean. Like after you do that, use flux again, and then use your braids to press against the solder points so you can absorb the solder and you can have a much more cleaner soldering point. And then afterwards you can clean all that flux off. So it's much cleaner now. You don't want it to be sticky and all that. Okay, yeah, see? It's so messy. That's all that flux. Okay, now the final step, or actually one of the final steps, is to actually apply the battery on this. So first step, as I said, put some flux on it, the solder points. I know I'm putting flux on and taking it off and all that. This is the precaution. I've seen videos on this and they seem to emphasize so much on using flux against solder points. I might need some information about as to why. I think it's because it absorbs the solder easier. Oh, we don't need to do that. Sorry, I am very, very focused here. We're trying to be focused. I'm kind of confused in the steps, but I know what to do. It's just finding the right beat, you know. All the other YouTubers have these beats they follow. They seem to do a lot better. But yeah, after you put some flux on it, you just put some soldering points, like you put some solder here on the soldering points. Don't put too much. You don't want it to overwhelm the area. Yeah, that's pretty smooth right now. See? You can see some roundness to it. That's what we want. Then the next step is to finally apply the battery here. So we just kind of align it to the circle. This might take some time. Give me a second. And there we go. And then you gently press against this so the solder will actually melt over the battery points. It's tricky because the thing will point up the solder. So just kind of play around with it until you get a much more smoother surface. I'm using a specific tip, so you don't have to use this tip if you're experienced with other tips. So this is so much work, but that's how solder works. Ooh, and it gets hot here, so be careful. There we go. That might work. Yeah. So it's not falling off, so that's a good sign. Now we put pressure on this side too. Oh, that's funny. It actually does this side is actually a lot more cooperative than this one. See? Let me just pull it up in case. Yep, it's on. Now I'm not sure if this is the exact, like if it's supposed to be within this circle, but we'll find out once we actually test the game itself. So let me just kind of clean off a bit. I'm kind of putting my soldering iron against some brass so it'll clean off, or if that's brass or copper. And then next step, last one hopefully. Well, there is the reassembling part, but just clean off some of that residue of flux off so it won't be sticky and all that. We just get that spot and this one and that one and this spot, and then should be a lot cleaner now. Let me just do that one more time just in case. It's always good to be double sure, you know what I mean? You can never be too sure and safe. There we go. Yeah. Let me make sure. Okay. Seems good. All right, let's put it back into here and test it out. So just kind of align it here. Then put the game in here. And then, where's the screw? It's here somewhere. Here it is. Put this back in. And there we go. Let's go test it out in GB Operator and see if it actually saves. Alright, we are back at GB Operator, and this time we're going to see if the new battery will take in my save data. I know that it did save before, but hopefully we don't have to worry about switching batteries if it's loose. So let's see if Pokemon Blue will be red easily. Okay. I recorded this before, but it was spazzing out a little bit, like it was not taking in the game as easily. So let's launch the game and see. Okay, 1996, 1998, blah blah blah. Okay. If you use GB Operator, the sound obviously is not, like the sound is not exactly on the right pitch, but yeah, let's see if it can save. I have never played a Generation 1 game at all. This is the first time ever, so this is quite a monumental experience for me. Let me just skip a bit. Yeah. Jack. Okay. Oh, let's slow that down a bit. Alright, let's see if it saves. And then we can check back. Yes, save. Now saving. Save the game. Okay, that's a good sign. Let's exit and then save over that. And then we'll just take it out in case and then put it back in. And then launch it. We'll skip a bit. Okay, let's see if it works. And it's working. Now, I could be wrong, but because GB Operator is basically an emulator, it's taking in the game's data and it's recreating it in an emulator scenario. So it could be saving without the battery. So hopefully that's not the case for a regular Game Boy. At least what I mean is hopefully that it still saves on a GB console. But yeah, that's replacing a battery of a Game Boy game. And there you have it. I have officially replaced the battery of Pokemon Blue with a new battery. And it's a fully functioning game like it was 1996. And this is not my first time replacing a battery, but this is my first time replacing it on screen for everybody to see. So if you want me to, I can replace anyone else's battery and show them off on screen. And yeah, I really enjoy replacing or fixing game parts and bringing them back to life. It's just a very wonderful experience, I'll say. So hopefully I'll get back to doing regular videos as much as possible. But until then, thanks again for watching, and thank you to Pink Dojo Games for the game. I really appreciate the opportunity to fix this game and bring it back to new. And I can't wait to play this, actually, because I've never played this game before. It'll be a fun experience, I'll say that. So thank you all for the 3,000 subscribers. I know it's a little too late, but it's a monumental video because of that. So thank you very much, everybody. Peace and dismissed.